We're standing outside the Royal High Courts of Justice here for a hearing which has involved the Lord Mayor of London and persons unknown as regards to the occupation of Parliament Square. Not too far from the Royal Courts of Justice, and I'm sitting here with Peace of the Little Family, who is one of the named defendants on the action between the Lord Mayor and good self and 19 others, I believe. I wonder if we could just set the scene by you giving us some idea of what happened yesterday.
In regards
to the court and with the judge. Yes, your request.
Well, going from the anti-terrorists standing in court transcript, I said I pulled the door. I stood in the lobby just outside the door, pulled the door open outwards, and said, "Sir, would it be all right with you if I entered this room and engaged in the proceedings with a full reservation of my unalienable rights?" To which they said yes. So I entered, saying, "For and on the record, as there is no objection," etc., etc. And then I walked to the front of the court, and the judge said he was going to give me one more chance to go on the witness stand with a yes or no answer, and I then tried to get him on his oath. I said, "Sir, are you operating on your oath?" He refused to answer, and then there was somebody stood up and started talking directly to the judge, which the judge called impertinence, and asked that he be removed, or ordered that he be removed, and he was forcibly ejected from the court by the security staff. And in the kerfuffle, the judge left, came back in halfway through, remained standing, wouldn't sit down, went out again, came back in, and to my surprise he did sit down.
Did you ask him to offer his oath again?
I did,
that?
yes.
And what was his response?
He just ignored me and basically called a halt to the proceedings at about 3:30, which is quite early, really.
So you asked him for his oath, he refused, and then someone else, it seemed very conveniently, caused disruption in the court. Cue him leaving and then coming back in again. You asked him to offer his oath again, and he then just shut down the proceedings rather than offer his oath.
Yeah, indeed. And now, and in that process, he said that it was now going to be in chambers, meaning no public unless previously authorised.
So this is what's happened today. So basically, because of one person made an outburst in court, he's now banned all Englishmen, women, to attend Her Majesty's court, and he's used that. He still has refused to offer his oath.
Yep.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about the proceedings today? What was your experience today?
Today I didn't enter the court because they wouldn't let me stand in the lobby, and therefore I don't think I'd have been able to get in there with my unalienable rights. I was told, I did pop in there before the judge arrived and said that I was here as a named defendant ready to give witness or whatever, and they said that I could come in but wouldn't be allowed to speak. Yeah, I could come in but wouldn't be allowed to speak.
So it sounds like they were laying down the terms and conditions for you, a free man on the land. You've asked the judge for his oath, and now they're just setting the terms and conditions, and they're not letting you come into.
And this is the second day running. Yesterday was the second day running that occurred. I did exactly the same thing the day before, and pretty much exactly the same thing happened, minus the ejection. But there was certainly an interruption from the same guy.
I mean, does this seem to you like the judge stroke guy, because he hasn't offered his oath, so he can't really be considered to be a judge?
No, I mean, I should be calling him more properly an adjudicator.
An adjudicator or a banker. Yeah. It seems like he's making these rules up as he goes along.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
And he's not abiding by the very serious set protocols of his oath presumably he was sworn an oath. He could, for all intents and purposes, be an imposter. But he seems to be making up his own rules as they go along without due process.
I mean, on the first day, I tried this, he did confirm that he had an oath of office, but wouldn't answer whether he was operating on it.
Curiouser and curious.
Indeed. And so I was quite pleased with myself the first day. The second day I sort of lost my concentration because of the kerfuffle, and I didn't go as far, because on the first day I then said to him, "Sir, if you don't have an oath of office, how am I to know whether you're a judge or not? So with all due respect, how am I to understand you're impersonating a judge? How am I to understand you won't qualify your oath and you're impersonating an official? So if you don't have an oath of office, you have no authority to be sitting there and you need to step down, am I wrong?" I mean, let me say all that without any interruption at all. Which is the second time I've managed to do that in court, and I've been surprised both times that he's allowed me to say it. Obviously less surprised the second time, and then he did pretty promptly leave. He pretty promptly stepped down. Now he's obviously making out that that's just his own decision, you know, and he's got these legal people, barristers and whatever, who are sort of giving him moral support, I suppose, in whatever he does, because they're not picking up on any of the points.
So clearly he's not honouring his oath to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II.
Indeed.
And operating as a judge. He's preferring to operate in a commercial capacity, more profit. And when you ask to hold him to his oath, he basically runs away. Yeah. Okay, thank you, please. Sitting next to me also is Colin of the Bex family, who was also in court yesterday. Good afternoon, Colin.
Hello.
I wonder if you could tell us a little bit about what happened in the court yesterday.
Yes, I can. I was observing from the public gallery, and I saw a man being knocked to the floor, or at least tripped to the floor, but he fell bodily on the floor. The judge had ordered this. It is a clear case of assault and battery in view of about 50 people who were in the court at the time. The judge, who had left the chair, as Peace had said, then came in, and I saw him peering over his rail to watch this battery going on under his orders. And then this unfortunate man was hauled out of the court. Now, before that happened, he had managed to say, when the judge left, that man overboard, case dismissed. So in law, I believe, the case was dismissed at that point, and that is a matter for experts in common law, which you may be.
Well, being that the judge did not offer his oath, so therefore he had no jurisdiction, and he abandoned the ship, i.e. man overboard.
Exactly.
And that the ship was up for salvage then.
That's it.
So someone else could then, under the laws of salvage of the sea, become captain of that ship and steer it to whatever course they wanted to.
Indeed, sir. You put it very well, and as I say, he dismissed the case. Now the man was hauled out, and that was the last we saw of him. Now, I regard this judge, and I have a picture of him here, I don't know if with his wig.
Okay,
it's very good if you later, you might want to put it on later, but there he is in his wig. Oh. Now this man, it should be realised, is a criminal law judge who has been wheeled in to handle a case which is a planning matter. He had prevented me making a submission which said this was the wrong venue